In this video, I'm going to share with you guys the best class setup for the new Akimbo Renetti pistols here in Call of Duty Warzone, so I hope you guys like the class setup and enjoy the video. So what's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today we are once again back on Call of Duty Warzone, and I wanted to share with you guys the best class setup for these new Akimbo Renetti pistols. As most of you guys know, the Akimbo 357 Snake Shots got patched, and now we're looking for something new that's overpowered, and the Renetti Akimbo 3-round burst pistols appear to be that here in Modern Warfare and Warzone. A really fun class setup to use, very accurate and very powerful, and hopefully you guys will be able to do really well with this thing. So what you're watching right now is me demonstrate what these weapons look like in a multiplayer private match against veteran bots. Keep in mind, in Warzone it's going to take a little bit longer to kill people, but you guys can get an idea if you want to test these out in a multiplayer match. They're absolutely insane and so much fun to use, but nonetheless, if you guys take a look at the stats that we're going to get with this specific class setup, you guys will see that the main focus here was the fire rate. We get an absolutely massive boost to fire rate, almost completely maxing this thing out. We also get a really nice boost to damage, which is obviously what that Akimbo is going to be for. You guys will see that we end up losing a decent amount of accuracy, mobility, and control, but obviously because this is an Akimbo setup, it's going to be meant for close range, and trust me, when you are close range, you'll be able to dominate with it. So if you guys take a look at the attachments that we're going to be using, we're not going to be using a muzzle. The barrel that we're going to be using is obviously the MK3 burst mod. Now, this is going to give you the fire rate as well as a 3-round burst, giving us a nice boost to damage and fire rate. Now, keep in mind, this thing is absolutely insane without the Akimbo as well. So if you guys want to test this out first before rocking the Akimbo, you can. A very deadly weapon. If you've been playing gunfight a lot recently, this is one that tends to pop up a lot. But again, the MK3 burst mod barrel. The laser that we're going to be using is the 5MW laser. So we're throwing the 5MW on there to get hip fire accuracy and sprint to fire speed. The main focus here obviously is that hip fire accuracy, since we aren't going to be able to aim down sight with this Akimbo, giving us a nice boost to accuracy and mobility. So again, the 5MW laser. We're not going to be using an optic. We're also not going to be using a stock. We can't run one anyway because it's blocked by the Akimbo. The trigger action that we're using is the lightweight trigger, so this is very important that you run this. You'll see a noticeable difference if you're not using the lightweight trigger. I was testing a few different ones out, and obviously you won't be able to shoot as fast as possible, so this is going to give us that massive boost to fire rate. So again, the lightweight trigger action. We're not running any extra ammunition. Now, I want to point this out now that there's one attachment that you can change. If you don't feel comfortable having the amount of ammo that comes with a specific weapon, as you guys play with it, you'll notice it. You can take off the 5MW laser and run the 27-round mag so that you have a couple extra shots left. So if you miss a bunch of shots, or you're going for someone for long range, or you run into multiple people at one time, that 27-round mag is a nice thing to have. If you want, you could take off the 5MW laser if you feel comfortable with your aim. Generally, people just want to use that laser to make it easier to hit their shots, but you can bounce back and forth between both of those attachments, the 5MW laser or the 27-round mag ammunition. But for this class setup specifically, we're going with the laser. The rear grip that we're using is the XRK Pro Grip. So with this, we're getting recoil control, which is going to be nice, giving us a nice boost to accuracy here. So again, the XRK Pro Grip. And last but not least, the perk that we're using is obviously going to be Akimbo, giving us hip fire to weapons and a really nice boost to damage as well as that fire rate. So there's also another attachment that you can change if you don't like the way this class setup is playing. This is something that I wouldn't change immediately. I would use the class setup that I just showed you. But if you're in a game, you're playing multiple games, and you can't find yourself doing really good with this thing, there's another attachment that you can add. So essentially what you'll want to do is get rid of the rear grip XRK Pro Grip. So as you guys can see with that attachment, you get recoil control, which gives you a nice boost to accuracy, and you lose aiming stability, which isn't going to be a big deal here because we obviously don't have idle sway with a pistol. But you can get rid of the XRK Pro Grip, and you can run the muzzle brake. So what this is going to do is give you recoil stabilization. So essentially the same thing as recoil control. You guys can see what this will do is redirect the gases outwards to stabilize the weapon for better control of sustained fire. So you'll get another boost to accuracy here. Essentially, you're getting the same boost to that accuracy, but you're also getting a small boost of control here. So I kind of bounce back and forth between the muzzle brake and that rear grip, the XRK Pro Grip. There's really not that much of a difference. You can test it out, whichever one you find to be, a little bit better for your play style or the way you are with this weapon. It's really not that big of a difference. So it's not that big of a deal. Just thought I'd share that with you in case you guys want to try out a different attachment there. Now, there's one last thing that you can try out if you're not doing so well with the burst mod here for these Akimbo Renettis, and that's throwing on an MK1 extended barrel. So essentially what you'll do by doing this is taking off the 3-round burst. You'll still have the Akimbo Renettis, however, you'll have an MK1 extended barrel, which is going to be single shot in each gun. So I would only recommend doing this if you've got really good trigger fingers. Obviously, you're going to have to shoot every single bullet. It's not going to be the 3-round burst. But what's nice is that you actually trade that damage boost for a massive accuracy boost. So with the extended barrel, what you're doing is giving yourself a really nice boost to accuracy, range, and control. So you'll do much better from distance. However, you end up losing the damage boost and you end up losing a lot of fire rate. The nice thing about that MK3 burst mod is that not only do you get that fire rate, but you get a nice damage boost because you're shooting quicker. And it doesn't take as much skill to use these things because you're not having to constantly pull the triggers to shoot bullets. You can just literally keep barely tapping them and shoot 3 at a time with each side. So it's much easier to use the burst mod, but if you run the MK1 extended, it's going to be very, very powerful and very good from long range. It's just going to be a little bit more challenging to do. So if you want to try those out, I've seen a lot of people in multiplayer lobbies. I've seen people in Warzone start using those, and it's really just personal preference and what you're more comfortable with and what you have the ability to do well with. So you can bounce back and forth and try them out and let me know down below what you think of each one. But I'll share with you guys a little more gameplay to kind of talk about this thing because what's really unique about these Akimbo pistols, and you kind of run into the same problem with those Akimbo 357s, is the recoil. The recoil is obviously the worst, and generally with these pistols, the recoil tends to go upward. At least for me, when you're shooting, it'll start going up, and it's really, really annoying. So essentially what you want to do when you're going after players, you want to start shooting these pistols lower. So if you shoot around their feet, the recoil is going to bring the weapons up to around their head, and it'll make it much easier to get those headshots. A lot of times people aim directly for the head, and it's something that I do all the time, and a lot of times you'll get lucky and just get them in the head and take them out immediately. But if you're aiming for the head, the recoil is going to make you shoot above their body, and then you're not going to hit any shots. So you're not doing any damage whatsoever, and it's what gets me killed most of the time. So make sure that you are aiming low when you're using these Akimbo pistols. But they're a lot of fun to use. You guys really shouldn't have too many issues with them. They are pretty overpowered. Do we see these things getting nerfed? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're fine as of right now. To be honest with you, those Akimbo 357 snake shots, it took a very long time for those to become really popular and finally get nerfed. It's something that players weren't even using in the game, and I guess people figured out, hey, this is really, really good, and started using it, and then everyone was using it. So I'm interested to see if we start seeing everyone use these Akimbo Renettis. I think what's holding people back is not being able to actually level up and unlock it. A lot of people don't really use this thing. And for those of you that are wondering why you can't find a lot of the attachments, if you're watching this video and you don't have any of the attachments unlocked, the reason for that is because you're not a high enough level. So if you're in your Warzone lobby trying to create this class, and it's not letting you add specific attachments or you can't see them, it's because you haven't leveled up the gun enough. Now, for that, I would highly recommend getting multiplayer. If you don't have Modern Warfare multiplayer, leveling up this Renetti is going to be a pain in Warzone and take you a lot of time. So I'd recommend jumping into a multiplayer lobby and playing some hardcore shipment, hardcore shoot the boathouse, whatever it's called, the playlist with the small maps. That's the easiest way to level up these pistols. Crack open a double weapon XP and you'll knock it out in 3 games. Really easy to do. However, the Akimbo is a little bit different. So you're not going to unlock the Akimbo by just leveling the weapon up. Essentially what happens is you're going to unlock a perk about midway through leveling this thing up. I think the max level is around 46. And once you get there, I think it's maybe like 30 that you unlock it. I'm not sure, but there's a perk called Mo Money. And essentially what it does is it gives you more XP for your kills. So if you're getting more headshot XP essentially, which is really, really cool. But to get the Akimbo, you have to run the Mo Money perk and get 3 kills in 5 different games. So essentially you can spawn into a game, get 3 kills, and you have to do that in 5 different games, and that will unlock the Akimbo. So what's nice is essentially you can unlock that Akimbo without even maxing out the weapon. But obviously it's the last attachment on there, but you can get that Akimbo pretty early on once you unlock the Mo Money perk. So again, I would just recommend playing those small maps, fast game modes, something like Team Deathmatch Kill Confirmed. It'll make it really easy for you to be able to get those Akimbos pretty quick. That's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you're able to do well with these Akimbo Renettis. Hopefully they don't get too overpowered and people start using them all the time. But if you guys have any questions or anything else to add about this specific class setup or anything else that has to do with this, please make sure to leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure and try to help some of you guys out. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.